The massive alien ship loomed over Seoul, casting a shadow across the city. Its smooth metal hull caught the morning light, creating a dazzling display that had millions watching in awe. This was humanity's first confirmed contact with intelligent life from beyond Earth. Dr. Hyun tightened his grip on his folder. His knuckles turned white as he stood with the other scientists and government officials. Years of training and diplomacy hadn't prepared him for this moment. Nobody was prepared. "They don't look like what I expected," Jun whispered, standing close behind Dr. Hyun. As the doctor's research assistant for 5 years, Jun had earned the right to be part of this historic meeting. No one knew what to expect, Dr. Hyun replied softly, trying to keep his voice steady. A ramp extended from the alien vessel, touching the landing pad with a soft hiss. 6 beings emerged, walking with a strange flowing motion. They had slim bodies covered in a pale blue skin that seemed to shimmer. Each alien had 6 eyes arranged in a pattern across their face, and 4 arms that moved with precise coordination. Ambassador Tool led the group. The translator device at his throat captured his clicks and whistles, converting them to human language. The gathered humans held their breath as he approached. "Greetings," Dr. Hyun said, bowing slightly. "On behalf of Earth, we welcome you." The 6 eyes of Ambassador Toll blinked one after another, studying the humans with clear curiosity. "Your welcome is acknowledged," he said, his voice coming through the translator with an odd metallic quality. "We are surprised." "Surprised?" Dr. Hyun asked. "We expected different specimens," Tool explained. "Your atmospheric composition alone should render your species incapacitated. The gravity, radiation levels, and bacterial presence on this world are extreme." Dr. Hyun allowed himself a small smile. "We adapt well to challenging environments." "So it seems," Toll replied, all 6 eyes focusing on Dr. Hyun at once. "This is most unexpected." In the days that followed, the aliens set up temporary quarters near Seoul. They called themselves representatives of the Galactic Confederation, a union of over 40 intelligent species from different star systems. They spoke of trade, cultural exchange, and peaceful cooperation. Dr. Hyun and Jun worked closely with the aliens, serving as the main scientific liaisons. The aliens seemed particularly interested in human biology and medicine. "They want to understand how we survive here," Dr. Hyun told Jun after a long meeting. "They keep calling Earth a death world. Apparently, most intelligent life evolves on much more gentle planets." "Is that a compliment?" Jun asked. "I'm not sure," Dr. Hyun admitted. A week into the diplomatic mission, the aliens proposed a series of cultural exchanges that involved human volunteers visiting their ship. 50 people were selected, including athletes, scientists, and individuals with unique genetic traits. They would spend 2 days aboard the alien vessel, participating in what the aliens called information-gathering sessions. Jun wasn't chosen, but he helped coordinate the visits. He noticed that the volunteers returned tired and sometimes confused about what had happened during their time aboard. "They asked so many questions about my childhood diseases," one volunteer told Jun. "They seemed amazed I survived chickenpox. They had me run on a treadmill for hours," another reported. "They kept increasing the gravity and seemed shocked when I could still function." Jun's suspicions grew when he noticed small bandages on many of the returning volunteers. When asked, they mentioned standard medical scans, but couldn't remember details. Late one night, Jun accessed the medical records of the volunteers. What he found alarmed him. Blood samples, tissue samples, genetic material, all taken without proper consent or documentation. The aliens were conducting extensive testing on humans beyond what had been agreed to. He immediately took his findings to Dr. Hyun, who confronted Ambassador Toll the next morning. "You've violated our trust," Dr. Hyun said, his voice cold. "These tests go far beyond cultural exchange." Toll's eyes blinked rapidly. "We needed to understand your biological resilience. Your species is concerning. Concerning. We welcomed you in peace. Peace is precisely our concern, Tull replied. Species from worlds like yours typically don't prioritize peace. You are anomalies. The diplomatic mission collapsed within hours. The alien ship departed the next day, rising silently into the sky as humanity watched in confusion. As the ship disappeared from view, Jun stood beside Dr. Hyun on the observatory deck. They're afraid of us, Jun said quietly, the realization dawning on him. But why? What did they find in those tests? Dr. Hyun had no answer, but the look in his eyes told Jun that humanity's first contact had opened a door that would never close again. The stars blurred outside the viewports as the ESS Horizon dropped out of faster-than-light travel. The ship, humanity's pride and greatest achievement, slowed to normal speed. Captain Dai felt a moment of pride mixed with anxiety. 15 years of work had led to this moment. Arrival confirmed, said Ta, her pilot. His fingers moved quickly over the controls. We are at the edge of Confederation space, just as planned. Captain Dai nodded and stood straighter. Her uniform, designed specially for this historic mission, felt suddenly tight around her neck. Send the greeting message we prepared. Communications Officer Han pressed several buttons. Message sent, Captain. Now we wait. They didn't wait long. A response came within minutes. They acknowledge our arrival, Han reported. They're sending coordinates for approach. And, he paused, frowning at his screen. They've included very specific flight restrictions. Day walked over to look at the message. The instructions were unusually detailed and restrictive. Keep a minimum distance of 50,000 kilometers. No scans of any kind. Limited crew on visible decks. Weapons systems completely powered down. They're treating us like we're dangerous, Ta said quietly. Follow their protocols exactly, Day ordered. We've come too far to turn back now. The horizon moved slowly toward the massive structure that served as the Confederation's central hub. It was beautiful in a strange alien way. A sprawling collection of connected rings and spheres, with ships of various designs moving between them. Look at that technology, Engineer Kang whispered from his station. We're centuries behind them. As they approached, a small vessel detached from the hub and moved toward them. It matched speed with the horizon and guided them to a docking area far from the main sections of the hub. They're keeping us isolated, Da noted. Stay alert, but remember, we're diplomats now, not explorers. The reception committee was even colder than their messages had suggested. 17 different alien species sent representatives to meet the human delegation, but none approached closer than 3 meters. They stood in a half-circle, watching as Captain Dai and her 5 chosen officers stepped onto Confederation territory. Welcome to the Galactic Confederation Central Hub, said a tall, thin alien with translucent skin that glowed from within. I am Ambassador Lux, Senior Diplomatic Coordinator. We have prepared accommodation for your brief stay. Thank you for your welcome. Day responded with the practiced phrases they had rehearsed for months. The people of Earth are honored to finally meet with the Confederation properly. Yes, properly. Ambassador Lux's inner light pulsed slightly, unlike the unplanned first contact. Day nodded, trying to maintain her diplomatic smile. We have much to discuss. Indeed. Please follow. They were led to a conference room that seemed specifically designed to keep the various species separated. Each delegation had its own section with appropriate environmental controls. The human section had higher gravity and oxygen levels than the rest of the room. Once they were seated, Ambassador Lux activated the central display. A document appeared, translated into perfect Earth standard. Before discussions can begin, you must be made aware of your classification within Confederation law, Lux said. This document is known as the Human Containment Protocol. It was established shortly after our first contact with your species. Day accepted the data tablet handed to her and began reading. Her eyes widened. What exactly is a Deathworlder? She asked, looking up from the document. Ambassador Lux's glow dimmed slightly, which Da had learned indicated discomfort or nervousness. It is a classification for species evolved on planets with extreme conditions. Your Earth has high gravity, intense radiation, aggressive microorganisms, and atmospheric toxins that would kill most sentient species in the galaxy. And that makes us dangerous. Dai asked. Species from such worlds develop undesirable traits. Lux continued. Your biological resilience gives you advantages that disturb the balance among Confederation members. You can survive radiation levels that would destroy most life. Your physical strength exceeds standards by concerning margins. Another alien, with 4 arms and dark purple skin, leaned forward. Your immunity to our standard compliance technologies makes you unpredictable. Day looked up sharply. Compliance technologies. Lux's glow flickered rapidly. Most disputes within the Confederation are resolved using non-harmful control systems that temporarily limit aggressive behavior. These do not function on human physiology. Day's diplomatic smile remained in place, but her eyes hardened. So you've classified us as dangerous because we can't be controlled. We've classified you as untouchable, Lux corrected, inner light pulsing rapidly, for everyone's protection, including yours. Untouchable, Day repeated. The word hung in the air. Trade with your species will be limited. Cultural exchange restricted. Human ships may not approach within certain distances of populated worlds. Human settlements will be confined to specific regions of space. Day glanced at her team. Engineer Kang looked outraged. Security Officer Min seemed ready to fight. Only Ta maintained his calm. I see, Da said carefully. And if we don't agree to these terms? Lux's glow became very still. This is not a negotiation, Captain Da. This is notification of an existing law. The alternative would be to declare humanity a prohibited species, banned entirely from Confederation space. So we're either dangerous outsiders or enemies, Da said. Those are our only options. You are what your world made you, Lux replied. The galaxy has rules for a reason. Species like yours have caused problems before. Day looked down at the document again, her mind racing. Humanity had hoped to join a galactic community as equals. Instead, they were being quarantined, feared for the very traits that had helped them survive and thrive. We'll need time to review this document fully, she said finally. Of course, Lux agreed. You have until tomorrow. As the aliens filed out, Day turned to her team. It seems, she said quietly, that being untouchable may be both our curse and our strength. Commander Sung's breath misted inside his helmet as he crouched behind the cargo containers. The air on the Vectari ship was kept cold, perfect for their reptilian biology, but uncomfortable for humans. His team of 5 Special Forces soldiers waited silently for his signal, weapons ready. Status report, Sung whispered into his comm. Perimeter secure, came the quiet voice of Hack. Position near the ship's docking bay. No movement. Team 2 in position, reported Jin through Sung's earpiece. Security systems neutralized. We have a clear path to the detention area. Sung checked his weapon one last time. 6 months of intelligence work had led to this moment. The Vectari, a species known for their advanced biological research, had been secretly abducting humans from colony worlds. 7 captives were confirmed aboard this research vessel. Move out, Sung ordered. Remember, this is a rescue mission first. No unnecessary risks. They moved through the corridors with practiced precision. The ship was eerily quiet, with most of the crew in their rest cycle. The few Vectari they encountered were quickly subdued with stun weapons. Sung wanted no deaths if possible. This was already a diplomatic nightmare. The detention area was lightly guarded. 2 Vectari security officers fell before they could sound an alarm. Sung rushed to the cell controls. Get these people ready to move, he ordered as the transparent barriers slid open. The human captives looked up with hollow eyes. They were thin, pale, and clearly traumatized. We're Earth Special Forces, Min told them, helping a young woman to her feet. We're taking you home. There are others, one man said weakly. They take us to the lab. Some never come back. Sung felt cold anger rising. The lab? Where? One level down. They do tests. All the time. Jin appeared at Sung's side. Commander, Team 2 has secured our exit route, but we're detecting increased activity in the ship's systems. They know something's wrong. Sung made a quick decision. Min, Hack, get these people to the extraction point. Jin, you're with me. We're checking the lab. They moved quickly down to the lower level. The laboratory section was vast, taking up nearly a quarter of the ship. As they entered the main chamber, Sung stopped cold at the sight before him. Rows of stasis chambers lined the walls, each containing samples of human tissue. Blood, skin, organs, even entire limbs, being systematically exposed to various compounds. Holographic displays showed cellular reactions in real time. What in the name of Earth? Jin whispered, lowering his weapon slightly in shock. Sung moved to one of the main computer terminals. Cover me. I need to understand what they're doing here. Jin stood guard while Sung accessed the system. His translator worked on the Vectari text scrolling across the screen. They're trying to isolate something in our genetic makeup, Jin said, looking over Sung's shoulder at the data. Something about dormant sequences. They keep referring to activation potential and precursor markers. Precursor markers. Sung frowned. What does that mean? I don't know, but they've been running these tests for years. Look at the sample dates. They started collecting humans long before we even knew the Confederation existed. A noise from the far end of the lab caught their attention. A Vectari scientist had entered through a side door and now stood frozen, staring at the human intruders. His scaled hand reached slowly for an alarm panel on the wall. Sung raised his weapon and fired in one smooth motion. The stun bolt hit the alien scientist in the chest, dropping him to the floor before he could trigger the alarm. Download everything, Sung ordered. All research data, all communications, everything. Jin pulled a data extraction device from his pack and connected it to the terminal. This will take a few minutes. Make it fast. We're running out of time. While Jin worked, Sung moved through the lab, taking images of everything he saw. Each stasis chamber seemed to be testing different aspects of human biology. Resistance to toxins, radiation response, cellular regeneration rates. One chamber in particular caught his attention. It contained what appeared to be neural tissue, connected to a complex array of monitoring equipment. The display showed unusual energy patterns pulsing through the sample. Got it all, Jin finally announced. 5 terabytes of research data. Sung nodded toward the neural tissue sample. Bring that one too. Jin carefully disconnected the stasis chamber and secured it in his pack. As they prepared to leave, alarms suddenly blared throughout the ship. They found the empty cells, Sung said. Move. They raced back through the corridors, meeting resistance as Vectari security forces converged on their position. Sung and Jin fought their way through, using non-lethal force where possible. They reached the extraction point just as Min was loading the last captive onto their stealth shuttle. Everyone's aboard, Min reported. Ready for departure. Go. Sung ordered, firing covering shots down the corridor as Jin boarded. Once inside, Sung secured the hatch. A shuttle detached from the Vectari ship and engaged its stealth systems, disappearing into the blackness of space. In the cargo area, medical officers were already treating the rescued captives. Sung moved among them, offering reassurances. You're safe now, he told them. We're taking you back to Earth space. What were they doing to us? Asked one woman, her arms marked with injection sites. They never told us anything. Sung glanced at Jin, who was securing the data they'd stolen. We're not just rescuing people, Sung told his team quietly. We're taking their research too. Something bigger is happening here. Something the Confederation doesn't want us to know about. Jin nodded grimly. And I think it has something to do with why they're so afraid of us. Captain Dai sat alone in her office aboard the Earth Defense Station, the room dark except for the blue glow of her screen. Outside her window, Earth hung like a jewel against the blackness of space. 3 years had passed since the first human delegation to the Confederation, and 2 months since Commander Sung's team had returned with the Vectari research data. She rubbed her tired eyes and looked again at the classified report before her. The information was almost too incredible to believe, yet the evidence was overwhelming. A soft knock at her door broke her concentration. "Enter," she called. Ta stepped inside. Once her pilot, he now served as her chief science advisor. His face looked as tired as hers felt. He had been leading the team analyzing the stolen Vectari data day and night. "Have you finished reading it?" he asked, taking a seat across from her. "Yes," Day replied quietly. "Is it verified? Are we certain this isn't some kind of deception?" Ta nodded. "The genetic tests confirm it. We've compared the dormant sequences in our DNA with the data from the Confederation archives that Sung's team recovered. The match is undeniable. We carry the same genetic markers as the species they called precursors." Day stood up and walked to the window, looking out at Earth. "And who were these precursors?" she asked, though she had already read the answer in the report. "According to their archives, they were the first spacefaring civilization," Tai explained. "They emerged billions of years ago, long before any other intelligent life in our galaxy. They seeded compatible worlds with life, including Earth. Their technological capabilities were—" He paused, searching for the right word. "Godlike." "And they disappeared," Dai said, still staring out at her homeworld. "Yes, about 5 million years ago. The Confederation records suggest there was some kind of catastrophe. The precursors were engaged in experiments with the fundamental forces of the universe. Something went wrong. Most of them were destroyed. Others simply vanished. But not before they left behind descendants," Dai said. "Us. And others too," Tai added. "The Vectari discovered that several species in the galaxy carry trace elements of precursor DNA, but humans have the highest concentration by far. Our planet's harsh conditions preserve more of the original genetic material." Day turned back to face him. "And these dormant sequences, what exactly do they do?" Ta shifted uncomfortably. "That's where it gets complicated. The Vectari were conducting experiments to find out. Based on their research and the Confederation archives, the dormant genes might allow for enhanced abilities." "What kind of abilities?" "Advanced neural functions, for one. Possibly telekinetic capabilities. Heightened perception. Maybe even manipulation of energy at a fundamental level." Dak closed the file on her screen. "And now the Confederation fears we'll awaken whatever abilities they had. They're terrified of it," Ta confirmed. "That's why they classified us as untouchable. The human containment protocol isn't just about our physical resilience. It's about preventing us from discovering and activating our genetic heritage." Day sat back down heavily. "How many people know about this?" "Just the science team, Commander Sung, and now you. We've kept it completely classified." "Good. It needs to stay that way while we decide what to do." She looked intently at Ta. "What do you think we should do with this information?" Ta hesitated before answering. "Some of our people already want to try activating these dormant sequences," he admitted. "Research teams are forming in secret. They see it as reclaiming our birthright, or our path to destruction," Dai countered. "We need to tread carefully." "I agree," Ta said. "But can we really keep this contained? The Vectari knew. Others in the Confederation must know too. What if someone else tries to use this against us?" Day stood up again, her decision made. "We inform the Council, but with strict security protocols. No public announcements. We form a dedicated research group, scientists we trust, to study these sequences, but not to activate them. Not yet. And if the Confederation finds out, we know. They probably expect we do by now," Daz said. That's why their patrols along our borders have doubled in the past month. A notification appeared on Da's screen. An incoming transmission, coded urgent. Accept, she commanded, and the face of Commander Sung appeared. Captain, he said, his expression grim. We have a situation. 3 scientists from the research team have gone missing, along with samples of the Vectary activation compounds. Da's blood ran cold. How long? At least 48 hours. They disabled the security systems. We only just discovered it. Day and Tai exchanged alarmed looks. Find them, Day ordered. Whatever it takes. After Sung's image disappeared, Day turned to Ta. If those scientists succeed in activating precursor abilities in themselves, it could change everything, Tai finished. For better or worse. Probably worse, Day said grimly. Power like that, without wisdom or restraint. She didn't need to finish the thought. They both looked out at Earth, peaceful and blue in the darkness of space, unaware of the storm that was coming. We need to prepare, Day said finally. If humans start manifesting precursor abilities, the Confederation won't sit idly by. They might decide we're too dangerous to allow to exist at all. What do we do? Tai asked. We find those scientists before they do something irreversible, Dai answered. And we prepare Earth for the possibility that the galactic law that shields humans might soon become the law that condemns us. The rogue research station hung in space near Jupiter, glowing with strange blue energy that no human technology could produce. Captain Dai stood on the bridge of her ship, the ESS Defender, looking at the live feed with a mixture of dread and determination. 6 months of searching had led to this moment. How many people are on that station? She asked. 53 humans confirmed. Jin reported from his tactical station. All volunteers who joined Dr. Jun's project. Power signatures are off the charts. We've never seen readings like these. Da looked at the 3 Confederation ships that had arrived alongside her own. This alliance would have been unthinkable just weeks ago, but the threat posed by Jun's experiments had changed everything. Open a channel to Ambassador Tull's ship, she ordered. The 6-eyed alien appeared on screen. Captain Da. Our sensors confirm your reports. The humans on that station have successfully activated precursor genetic sequences. We need to resolve this peacefully if possible, Dai insisted. These are still my people. They may look like your people, Tull replied grimly, but they are becoming something else entirely. Commander Sung stepped forward. Captain, I should lead the boarding party. I've dealt with Jun before. Day nodded. Assemble your team. I'll join you. The approach to the station was tense. Their small shuttle docked without resistance, which worried Da more than if they had been attacked. It meant Jun wanted them to come aboard. Their power signatures are growing stronger, Jin reported as they moved through the airlock. They've developed abilities we can't explain. They've become what the galaxy feared, Sung said grimly, checking his weapon. Stay alert. The interior of the station was transformed. The walls rippled with strange patterns of light. Equipment floated without support. In some areas, the very structure of the station seemed to bend in impossible ways. They found Dr. Jun in the main laboratory, surrounded by his followers. Da almost gasped at the sight. Jun's eyes glowed with inner light. His skin had a faint blue shimmer, similar to Ambassador Tull's species. When he moved, he seemed to blur slightly, as if he existed in multiple places at once. Captain Da, Jun said, his voice echoing strangely. Welcome to the future of humanity. Jun, Da replied calmly. What have you done? We've claimed our heritage, he announced proudly, gesturing to the others around him who showed similar changes. We have activated what was dormant within us. We can reshape matter, perceive the fundamental forces of the universe, even travel through space without ships. Why should we accept the Confederation's limitations? Because power without wisdom destroys itself, Day replied, and others along with it. Jun laughed, the sound causing ripples in the air around them. Wisdom. The Confederation has kept us ignorant out of fear. They've hidden our true nature from us. No more. They had reasons to be careful, Daz said. The precursors nearly destroyed themselves. You're walking the same path. We are perfecting what they began, Jun insisted. Watch. He raised his hand toward the large viewport that showed Jupiter's swirling clouds. His eyes glowed brighter, and to Daz's horror, a visible disturbance began to form in Jupiter's atmosphere. A massive storm that grew with unnatural speed. I can touch the gas giant from here, Jun said. Feel its elements respond to my will. This is just the beginning of what we can do. Stop this, Dai shouted. You're risking everyone on this station. The risk is necessary for evolution, Jun replied calmly. Humanity will thank us when they understand. The storm on Jupiter grew larger, threatening to destabilize the planet's delicate atmospheric balance. Alarms blared throughout the station. The station's orbit is being affected, Jin reported urgently. If that storm grows any larger, it could pull us in. Commander Sung moved quickly, activating a device the Confederation had provided. A neural disruptor specifically designed to counteract precursor abilities. Jun staggered as it activated, but recovered quickly. Your toys can't stop us, he said, though his voice sounded strained. What followed was chaos. Jun's followers attacked while Day's team deployed more disruptors. The Confederation ships fired precisely calibrated energy beams at the storm on Jupiter, trying to counteract Jun's influence. The combined effort finally weakened Jun enough that Sung could restrain him. As his concentration broke, the storm began to dissipate, but the station had suffered severe damage. Many of Jun's followers were injured, and several of Day's team as well. 3 days later, with the crisis contained and the altered humans in special medical facilities, Ambassador Toll requested a private meeting with Dai on Earth. The protocol was never meant to cage you, he admitted as they walked through a quiet garden. It was designed to protect you from those who would exploit your potential before you were ready for it. And are we ready now? Asked Da. No species ever is, said Tool. But you've proven something unique among all the descendants of the precursors we've encountered. What's that? That you value connection above power. You could have joined June many humans might have. Instead, you chose to protect others at great risk to yourself. That makes you not just untouchable, but invaluable. 1 month later, Dai stood before the Confederation Council as a new treaty was signed. Humans would no longer be classified as untouchable or dangerous. They would join the Confederation as full members, with the freedom to explore space and develop their civilization. The dormant precursor genes would be studied jointly, with strict safeguards. Some abilities might eventually be awakened, but slowly and carefully, with wisdom guiding power. As Dai signed her name to the historic document, she thought of how far humanity had come. The galactic law that once shielded humans from others had become the very thing that brought them together as equals. They were no longer untouchable. They were connected. The end.